The Foursquare worksheet is one of the oldest dealership techniques to present information to a consumer on a car purchase. It's broken up into 4 categories. You've got price, trade, down payment, and payment. And this video is going to break down exactly why this is a very easily manipulated and abused strategy for dealerships to get consumers to focus on things like the payment and the trade value without giving them a full breakdown of what's going on in a car deal. By the way, thank you for tuning in. My name is Doug with BenzsandBowties. If you don't already know me, I work at Mercedes-Benz in North Olmsted. I'm the general sales manager here, and I give you a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on in a car dealership. I also will give you content where I go over tips and tricks for buying cars. There's some sales training if you're in the industry. If you like content like that, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and that you like this video so that more people can see it. Now, the reason I suggested in a previous short video that consumers not do business with dealerships that use a Foursquare worksheet is because this is very often abused. Now, first I'm going to give you the argument from a dealership on why they would use this type of worksheet. And what they're going to tell you is that they use it for the sake of simplicity. They'll say that this is a worksheet that allows us to have the 4 most important parts of a deal front and center and easily digestible to maybe a car shopper that's less savvy, right? It's just going to be, hey, what's the price of the vehicle? What's your trade worth? What's the down payment that we agreed on? And what's the payment? And what they're hoping is that in this final box here, most car shoppers get very focused on the monthly payment and whether or not they can fit it into their budget. But the problem with the Foursquare worksheet is that it is lacking a lot of detail and context. Notably, you are not displaying the term. You are not displaying the APR, or the interest rate in the deal. You're not displaying taxes and fees and potential add-ons. There's a lot of information that is left out, which makes it very easy to hide things that will later be put on a buyer's order. But by that point, the dealership is hoping that maybe the buyer is emotionally invested and ready to move forward, and that they're probably not going to read through the buyer's order until a lot later. What I hear very regularly from car buyers that reach out to me through the internet is that after they get their new car home and they go through their paperwork a couple days to a few weeks later, they realize that the deal was not what they believed it to be. And I can't say with certainty that they were given a Foursquare worksheet when they went in to buy the car, but more often than not, it's likely that a worksheet like this was used to make sure that certain information wasn't readily available in front and center. It is true that there will be dealerships out there that use the Foursquare worksheet and when asked will give you a breakdown, but many will not. And the reason is that this also makes it very hard for a car consumer to shop deals. And dealerships that use it want to make sure that they're presenting information to you in this way, because now you can't easily take that and shop at another dealership. Because again, things like the term, the interest rate, the taxes and fees are all left out of here, so it really isn't a full breakdown. Now, if you are a car buyer and you go to a dealership and they present you with this and you ask for a full breakdown and they do give it to you, of course, if everything is as you would assume it to be, then you can proceed. However, what I am aiming to do is encourage dealerships to drop this practice altogether, because while I understand that some car consumers may not be incredibly savvy and understand all the ins and outs of the deal, it is much better, in my estimation and opinion, to be fully transparent when working a deal and show a full breakdown, including the MSRP, or in the case of a used car, just the selling price. If it's a new car, MSRP, selling price, taxes, fees, any add-ons that might be there. And this is a little reminder that dealerships that are showing you add-ons, that is, again, not the type of dealership that we should be patronizing, because if we continue to buy cars from dealerships that do that, then they really have no incentive to stop. So now that we know why dealerships will say that they use the Foursquare worksheet, I'm going to tell you the issues that I have with it specifically. First and foremost, it allows for manipulation. It allows dealerships to move money around behind the scenes, and you don't know what's happening. All you can see is how the payment is changing. You don't know necessarily that the length of the term is going out, or that the interest rate is going up, or that add-ons have been added in. All that you can see is potentially a lower payment, and therefore you think you're getting a better deal when you could in fact be getting a worse deal. The potential for manipulation is the #1 reason that I really have a problem with the Foursquare worksheet. The second is that it really does make it difficult to do business with a dealership because, again, you won't be able to actually transact without a buyer's order and a fully broken down worksheet. So you are going to get there eventually. Now, you might ask for that, and dealerships that use the 4-square worksheet might tell you, I can only give you that if I have an executable contract or if I have a 100% commitment from you. And what that dealership is telling you is that I'm not going to give you any information that would help you to shop at another dealership. And again, I can understand why a business would be operating from a place of fear that you would take information they give you and go somewhere else. But the reality is, in 2025, it's so easy to get information. It's so easy to do research online and to price shop and price compare. This is one of the few industries where there is still difficulty there, depending on where and who you're doing business with. So you want to find a dealership that believes that giving you all that information and allowing you to do what you want with it is going to be the best place to do business. So, for example, we believe that we make it easy. Obviously, we know that we make it easy for another dealership to potentially beat our deal, but we prioritize the service that we're going to provide, and we believe that by giving out a higher volume of quotes and talking to more people, that we will ultimately sell more cars, even if that means that more people shop us with other dealerships. But the amount of time that gets wasted and the frustrations and the complete lack of transparency that exists when a dealership is using a worksheet like this is just so behind the times. It is so out of line with the kind of purchasing experience we should be expecting from any business in 2025. And therefore, it's truly imperative that all car shoppers stop doing business with dealerships that operate this way and refuse to give you a breakdown on the price, because every time that a car is sold by a dealership that presents numbers in this way, they have more reason to continue doing it. And there's nothing worse for me or any other dealer that does business in a transparent way, where we're going to give you all of the information that you asked for, even some of it that you didn't ask for, than when a consumer buys a car and then a few weeks later, they realize that they made a huge mistake and that they were taken advantage of, and then there's nothing that they can do about it at that point. And in the meantime, a dealer that is engaging in that type of practice is able to continue doing that. The takeaway from this video is that the 4-square has been around for a long time, and still to this day, dealerships use it regularly. And the ones that do, I would encourage you not to patronize them. One final consideration: if a dealership is making it difficult for you to do business with them, and that to me means not providing you information in a timely fashion, withholding information, or insisting that you be in person to do business with them, then is it really worth doing business with them? Fight the urge to pick the car and then buy it wherever it happens to be, because that's how most people end up with a rotten deal and a bad experience. Pick the dealership with a little bit of online research and let them find the car of your dreams. And I guarantee you'll be a lot happier if you pick that strategy versus finding the car and then rolling the dice with your experience.